I know it's been a while since I last posted, but I kind of have an excuse. Hi, my name is Rend and I'm one organ lighter. I wanted to film this video at the time that I had surgery, like during my recovery, but throughout this video I'll insert clips of me at the hospital, kind of just random videos that I took there, okay? So this is gonna be a sit down and chit chat about my surgery, I guess, and my experience at the hospital, okay? A Canadian free healthcare hospital. Just keep that in mind. Let's all just take a second to commemorate my appendix. A lot of people have preconceived notions about Canadian healthcare and just the experience of going to the hospital. Everybody's experience at the hospital is different. You know, just because my experience was this way doesn't mean all experiences are this way. Let's not waste any more time. Let's just sit down and talk, and you know, maybe you'll learn something out of this, maybe you won't, maybe you're just interested in my experience and my suffering. But it's interesting because you don't really know about this stuff until it happens to you or happens to someone close to you. Let me first give you context. This whole story happened over 3 days. It started on a Saturday, the 23rd of November. On that Saturday, I was at work, and at the end of my shift, I was feeling a little bit dizzy, a little bit tired, because the night before a similar thing happened. I really wanted to go to the hospital to see what's going on. And I didn't have any experience going to hospital, right? Even though it seemed really like a small thing, I decided to go to the hospital. My mom took me. 6:45, we just got to the hospital, we parked. It was a Saturday night, so it was a busy night for them. We spent an hour at the triage area, which is where you get like checked up to see if like anything's that wrong with you, and then they like determine whether you should be ahead of the list or like at the bottom of the list based on like how severe your illness is. Obviously, people that are going through like heart attacks and things that are urgent need to be seen first before people that are going through nausea, dizziness, and stomach pain. So yeah, I told them that I have chest pain, I had nausea, abdominal pain, all this stuff. Nausea is not something that people should like worry about that much. So she let us in, we were in the waiting room, waited an hour, and then finally we were seen by someone. So we spent an hour, and then after they checked my heart, so at one point they checked my heart and they said it was fine. So that means I'm not in an urgent case, so I had to like wait another hour to be seen by the blood person. We were like closer to we were inside the hospital kinda, in another waiting area, and in this waiting area is like where a lot of sick people are really crowded in, because this is the area where the ambulance brings people in, and it was crowded and people were like vomiting, people were like moaning and like in pain and suffering, and you can hear it and you can see it on their faces, and it was just like not a positive place to be, not a good vibe, fun energy place. It was just like so frustrating. So we see the doctor after 7 hours of being at the hospital, literally 7 hours. So we got there at 6, it was after 1 a.m. and then he's like, okay, let me just figure out what's going on. So he asked me about my chest pain, my nausea, my abdominal pain, and then he started feeling my stomach to see like where the pain is coming from. When he like pressed on the bottom of my right abdominal area, that is where like the sharp pain was coming from. And he said, okay, so since it's coming from your right abdominal area, it could be appendicitis. And at that point I was just like, appendicitis? What's appendicitis? I need to do more tests, an x-ray and an ultrasound. So it's 3 a.m. by now, and I'm just so freaking tired. I just want to go home. I just want to suffer in my own bed rather than suffering in the hospital where nobody cares about you. You feel? As the time passed, my appendix was hurting so much, like more and more and more. And by the end of the night, I was literally in so much pain. And Tylenol didn't do anything, nothing did anything. And I was just like, and I just couldn't sleep because of all the pain. I took 8 showers to like, I don't know, wash away the pain. So I got to the hospital at 1, waited another hour. Hours feel like nothing at this point, like hours pass so fast. After I did the ultrasound, I had to go to the stupid triage area again and had to wait another 2 hours, literally just to go get my results, which was so freaking frustrating because I got triaged yesterday, and like, why do I need to get triaged again? And if you're gonna do it, why don't you just do it inside? Because You already know my information. I was here yesterday at 3 a.m. It's not even yesterday, it's the same day in the like morning. This is probably the most important part of the story. It's around 4 or 5 p.m. and the doctor finally came to talk to us. She's like, okay, lay down, let me just check your like abdominal area. And then she's like, okay, so based on your ultrasound and based on your tenderness in this area, we think that you have appendicitis and we need to take out your appendix today as soon as possible. And I obviously freak out and start crying. And then she started to explain that it's nothing crazy, it's nothing too invasive, you should be fine, we do this all the time, it's one of our more common surgeries. And in my head, I'm obviously worried because I don't know this person. She's coming up to me telling me that everything's gonna be fine, but I don't feel fine. This doesn't sound fine. But regardless, she knows better than I do and we had to go through it with it. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, appendicitis is like inflammation in the appendix. I don't really know too much about it. The whole thing was so quick that I couldn't even find out more about it because I was just too grossed out by the whole surgery aspect of it. But regardless, it's a part of your intestine. People say that it's useless, that you don't need it, that you can live without it. Yeah, that's pretty much all you need to know. So it's 5 p.m. We didn't know when the surgery was. Keep in mind, we didn't know when anything was. Literally anything. Like we were just a bunch of lost sheep, had no idea what's going on, just going from one room to the next, one waiting area to the next with a herd of other people, like sheep. But yeah, now I'm starting to get prepped for surgery, and that means an IV. And honestly, even before coming into the hospital, just seeing people with IVs just grossed me out. It's just really gross having a needle in your freaking hand all the time. Like, does anyone want that? Not really. Hey guys. Oh my gosh, there's so much confusion, literally so much confusion, literally, oh my god, I can't even explain to you how much confusion there was. I was confused, the nurses were confused, the doctors were confused, the insurance people were confused, the rooming people were confused. I had no idea what's going on. My mom had no idea what's going on. Nobody had any idea what's going on. And then we wait 3 hours. Nobody tells us when the like surgery is gonna be. So I'm just like sitting there like a waiting duck and just waiting. Like I'm not even gonna like mentally prepare because I don't even know what time it's gonna be. And then some people come up to us and say it's gonna be tomorrow. Some people say it's gonna be later tonight. Like it was just so much confusion. 3 hours later, it's around 8 p.m. They are like, okay, we're going. We're gonna go 10 minutes. Go get yourself ready. Just like, no. Not yet. They wheel you in like the movie, just like the movies. Yeah, 45 minutes later, I had my laparoscopic appendectomy. Yeah, I was really mad because they were just making me move a lot, and not really a lot. They made me move from the bed onto another bed, and I was just like, I couldn't carry my body because this area was hurting so much. But yeah, I had to stay there all night. Okay, the next morning I was dispatched before the doctor even like came and checked my incisions. Like he didn't even like check what's going on. It was just like such a weird experience. Like they didn't care about you as a person, they cared about you as a number. So I'm just happy and glad that I went that day because I honestly didn't even want to go. And I'm happy that they found out what's wrong with me and they fixed it quickly. Like they didn't waste any time, they just quickly figured it out and solved it. I mentioned this a couple times in this video and I'm not sure how I feel about it, but when you go in there like suffering and hurt and in pain, people there should like care about you as more than just like a being, like more than just a sheep, you know? But also, should they? Because at least they figured out what's wrong with me quickly and I just got out fast. I know I was inconvenienced by the 8 hours that I was waiting and a lot of pain that I had to go through, but at least they found out what's wrong with me and I got out. I don't know, what do you guys think? Comment below. How do you feel about Canadian healthcare system? How do you feel about patient service or patient care at a hospital? So now I'm just gonna give my final review of first the nurses, second the doctors, and then third diagnosis, and then fourth is patient care. So number one, nurses. Nurses were either yes they loved you or no they freaking hated you. I don't know why there's like no in between. Actually there is people in between. Based on that, I'm gonna give them a 6 because 6 out of 10 because most of them were really nice and they were understanding and they were just helpful, but some of them, on the other hand, were just not. Doctors, I think, was the better parts of my experience. Most of them were really nice. Actually, all of them were really nice, but I'll stick with most just in case you find someone that's not. They were really chill, actually. So that experience was an 8.5, I would say. Diagnosis, I think, was pretty good. They were very specific with what they found, and then they did quickly more tests. So I think that was pretty good. Based on that, I give them a 9. As I've mentioned, I didn't have a great experience at the hospital, really, and I don't think anyone does. So unfortunately, based on that, I have to give my hospital experience a 4 out of 10. I don't know why I gave it ratings, but I think it's good to rate things sometimes. And yeah, if you like this video and you want to hear more about, like, if you want to hear more stories, because I'm so fun at telling stories, and if you want to see more videos, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel because I want to make more videos. I've missed it. I've had a terrible 3 weeks with no filming videos, and yeah, I was just overwhelmed with my surgery, and then 2 weeks of just like catching up on schoolwork, and it was just hectic. So I will start making more. Do you see that? I don't know if you see that. I will start making more videos, and I'm so excited. This was a really long video to film.